You know, I remember a time when the idea of a Japanese PC port just kind of meant not great quality and really expensive. Well, that's kind of happened again, unfortunately, and it's a funny thing with Square Enix. On the one hand, they have complete bangers like Endwalker, and then on the other hand, they just do weird, wacky Square Enix things. And unfortunately, we do have one of the latter things going on here. This is a very silly situation that is not delivering a great value to people at all. So, on PC, $70. That's what's happening. The next-gen pricing, some companies are really trying to make that the norm on PC. So here we go. $70 PC pricing. It's been a pretty hot topic, I would say. For a lot of people, it was a little bit of a sting getting a PS5, going onto the PlayStation Store and thinking, oh dear, this is a lot of money for games. Yeah, well, so we were used to $60, obviously a bit different here in the UK where we do not use US dollars, but in the US, that's what everyone was used to. But then, of course, 2K challenged it with basically the next-gen edition of NBA 2K21 being $70, and at the time we just kind of said, hey everyone, this is the thin end of the wedge, get ready. And, well, hopefully you did, because a lot of other companies quickly followed suit. ActiBliz pricing COD Blops Cold War at $70 when it released, Horizon Forbidden West being $60 PS4, $70 PS5. And that's really Sony's whole trend of PS5 being more expensive. And on this topic of the $70, Jim Ryan had to say this. Is it fair? Yes, I do. I think it's fair. If you measure the hours of entertainment provided by video games, such as Demon's Souls, compared to any other form of entertainment, I think it's a very straightforward comparison to draw. And you know what? Actually, for a game like Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, it's worth it. I actually think the major problem here is inflexible pricing. Because for me, there's some AAA games that deliver like $80 of value. There's other ones that deliver $30 of value. Perhaps overall, we'd be in a more reasonable financial position if games were better priced and scoped. I actually think that could probably lead to AAA budgets that are more sustainable and games that are better. I think in the indie space, we tremendously benefit from variable price points. It means that you can be a bit more flexible with the budget for your game, and, all of that stuff. But hey, everyone's got the many million-dollar ambitions for their games. It's not really as much about having just, a whole bunch of things. They're all great, they're priced, and they're scoped for whatever makes the most sense. It's all the hyper-optimizing into blockbusters. So, at the time that 2K were causing this stir, Aaron Greenberg from Xbox called $70 games a exception and really tried to promote Microsoft being fan-centric. Phil Spencer said, as an industry, we can price things whatever we want to price them, and the consumer will decide what the price is for them. Yep, that's how a market works, Phil, and you are absolutely correct. I wish there was a bit more flexibility in AAA pricing. Again, Tsushima, I'd be happy to pay more. Other games that are maybe a bit shorter, maybe I would actually buy the game if it was priced a bit less. I think a good recent example of this is, in fact, Kenna Bridge of Spirits. It's not that expensive, and I think that's great. If that game was expected to be a AAA with a high price point, it would never have been made. The Ubisofts, etc. wouldn't make it, because they are in the business of the $60 to $70 game. I want to see what AAA looks like when it's trying to make a $35 game. Is that a good thing? I mean, hey, even Star Wars Squadrons was a bit cheaper, and I thought that was pretty fair. Pretty cool. It's interesting, isn't it? Now, of course, PC gaming exists outside of all this console stuff, doesn't it? And with it all being digital, well, we've just lived in our own little bubble. We've been used to games generally being a bit cheaper on Steam. And there have been reasons for that. They were very valid in the past. Console games digitally wasn't as much of a thing, right? So on PC, like literally your costs of distribution and all of that were less. So it kind of made sense that the PC game wasn't really as expensive. Then, of course, digital happened for consoles, and I mean, come on. You're going to get more margin. Why would you cut the price? People do not buy a game based on how much it costs you to print the discs, get them to a distributor, and have a store sell them. They buy them based on the value proposition. So yeah, you're not going to, cut your asking price in line with your cost savings. That's what's happened with digital on console, and I think now we're beginning to see that increased margin kind of flip over to PC. I mean, obviously, the industry will want to, march up what people are willing to pay. And this is where FF7 comes in. So, Square Enix are seemingly one of the first games companies that are doing the $70 PC game. And with NBA, we said to everybody, hey, this could be the thin end of the wedge. Maybe it is. Maybe it is this time. Both Forspoken and FF7 Remake Intergrade are going to be $70 on Steam and the Epic Games Store with $95 special editions. And this, of course, brings the PC pricing in line with the console pricing. But, of course, those are not always, fan bases with the same expectations and the same crossover. So while a lot of the console people had to suck up the $70 recently, I think for some of these AAAs, it might be time for us PC gamers to be faced with sucking that up. Now, what's really not helping them, and perhaps similar to that NBA 2K game, there's issues. Oh, there's issues with FF7 Remake, so let's dive into them. This is sad because I never played FF7, and I hear the remake's pretty good, so I'm actually pretty damn pumped to play the thing, but let's read on. For better or worse, mostly worse, they are leading the charge with $70 gaming, even though your extra $10 is, yeah, right. Let's get into this. So this came out in the Epic Games Store December 16th, and the following day, Digital Foundry expressed concerns. So Alex posted some tweets. John backed up Alex's tweets, going on to call FF7 Remake Intergrade, quote, literally the worst AAA release I have seen on PC in a good long time. I humbly submit that no one should buy it. That is utterly damning. Damning. I never really do this since I usually cover this in video, but your man's going to be on this when I'm on holiday, Alex's findings. But this is just one brief moment in the first 5 minutes of the game. Spinning the camera causes a sustained drop and then a big stutter. RTSS does not see it. So, pretty rough. And this is the really funny thing. He's having that RTSS is not picking up that the frame rate issues are there. It's basically telling the game that it's running at 60 FPS, but from his perspective, looking at the damn screen, it sure as hell ain't. Not good. This is actually something that he saw on the Medium at launch, and No Man's Sky at a time. John popping in. Alert, Alex sent his clips over to us to check out, and yeah, the port is terrible. He captured this using an RTX 3090 and a 10900K at 1080p, and it's a mess. Smooth presentation was central to its storytelling, and this version compromises it. So this is not good. Now, he took to Reset Era saying, it's literally the worst, should not buy it. The news is going around then that this is in fact a debug build. But then this is being refuted by a commenter, so either way, just a little bit messy. But basically, this is utterly damning. And this is a terrible start for $70 PC games. And kind of sad, because there's a lot of incredible games that come out of Japan. And for the longest time over, on PC, we were really quite sad that the PC ports either didn't exist or weren't that good. And it was nice to see that actually get better. So it's very sad to see an echo of that, reverberate forth into the modern day. But hey, at least the modders are having some fun. There's actually a mod that disables the dynamic resolution scaling, which reportedly is one of the things messing with the game's progress. So yeah, imagine using Scarlet instead of your Buster Sword. Cool. Just wield that. Some Tifa and Cloud always being in dresses. Let's go. So, hey, modders, always having fun. Maybe they can actually fix up the PC performance here. I'm quite sad because I really wanted to play this game and I wasn't sure what to buy it on because maybe it's one of the things I'm going to play over the break. I think I'm going to stick with the PS5 version, frankly. So, messy situation. And I guess brace for $70 to soon become the standard. Yeah. We kind of said it last time, and it proved true, and there's a decent chance it'll prove true this time. Now, obviously, I'm happy to pay $70 if I feel like I've got $70 of value, but when I am so used to bullshit like this, or, you know, having, even say, like, take this, man, this has got a 3070 in it. A 3070. And, it's the Ryzen 5950HX, maybe? It's a really good CPU. I mean, for a form factor, this thing's a goddamn beast, this Razer Blade. And even on, like, the lowest settings, I was having major performance issues with Battlefield 2042. It's like, man, what are you doing, AAA? You're teaching me not to buy your shit. Come on. So, hopefully the value propositions do in fact get better over time. And with that said, thank you for listening. Let me know if this has impacted you and what your experience of this has been. And I'll see you next time.